The Gospel Mission of South America began in 1923 when William Strong left his business in New York along with his wife and 2 children and set sail for Chile. Mr. Strong felt God calling him to evangelize soldiers stationed in Tacna, Chile, a ministry God prospered as it spread throughout the country. In the 1930s, long-term workers arrived. The mission began to take form and was first called Soldiers and Gospel Mission of South America. Later, the military ministry was turned over to the Gideons, and the word soldiers was dropped from the name. As the 30s wore on, establishing local churches became our passion and continues to be our primary goal today. Early churches were established among the Mapuche Indians, where not even the Roman Church attempted to evangelize. An evangelistic boat ministry in the Chiloé Islands developed in the 1940s and continues to this day where churches are being established.
There was Mr. Tobelman, who was planted a church in a city with 29 Catholic churches, and he suffered, but he had the capacity to receive the difficulties and without resentment and follow on and do the job. In every place he worked, he left the work established. It's going on right now after 40 years here in Chile.
In 1944, GMSA missionaries and their Chilean colleagues founded the Fellowship Union of Bible Center Churches in Chile. In the early 70s, GMSA missionaries entered Argentina and Uruguay. Soon churches were being planted, and the fellowship was established on both new fields. Today, nearly 20 board members in the United States, Canada, and Great Britain, along with thousands who pray, hundreds of supporting churches, and over 30 missionaries and their families make up the GMSA team in Chile, Argentina, and Uruguay. We work alongside over 50 national pastors and their families to reach over 50 million people for Christ in the Southern Cone. National churches are reproducing themselves through local church planting efforts. Their own missionaries, GMSA missionaries, and sometimes the two team together, are involved in new church planting efforts at different stages of development in Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile. A new team has just begun in Carmelo, Uruguay.
Mi nombre es Pablo de Godos, soy de Argentina.
Mi nombre es Marcela de Godos, también argentina.
Somos misioneros de la Iglesia de Argentina de Chivilcoy y estamos acá en Carmelo, Uruguay, comenzando con una familia de misioneros de la GMSA una nueva obra en un lugar donde lo que es la iglesia fundamental no hay.
Se conoce como muy frío y muy ateo. Sabemos que Dios es el que abre las puertas y sabemos que tenemos el favor del Señor de nuestro lado, ¿no? No es fácil, para Dios no hay nada imposible.
Soon new missionaries will arrive to join another team forming in Argentina. Others are working to establish churches in northern Chile, where new missionaries are on the way to join the team. Chilean missionaries have been sent to southern Argentina and are being supported by national churches in both countries to establish a church in the Andean city of Bariloche. National churches are engaged in making disciples by sending missionaries and supporting missions throughout southern South America, as well as Peru, Bolivia, Cuba, Zambia, and Southeast Asia.
The gospel is something precious, but we're the package it comes in, and we have to be on the ball with Jesus Christ and drive for holiness. In Scotland, Mrs. Black and myself stayed at the tomb of Murray McCheyne and remember what he said. My congregation's greatest need is my personal holiness. Think on that a minute. He said, God is not looking for great preachers, but for likeness to Jesus Christ. He said, oh, the tears I've shed over the secret love of the praise of men. These were the things that worked on us. Have I shed any tears over the secret love of the praise of men? Do I really believe that My people's greatest need is my personal holiness. Those are the things to work on in missionary work. It isn't just bringing sinners to Christ, it's really taking Christ to the sinners.
GMSA has had a long history of making disciples through camping ministry in all 3 countries. Missionaries and nationals serve side by side throughout the year, ministering through a variety of venues to well over 1,000 campers annually, both saved and unsaved of every age. With 5 facilities, some yet to be completed and others under renovation, teams from the United Kingdom, Canada, and the United States participate each year in helping build and rebuild Christ-centered camps for disciple making.
Chile, Argentina, y Uruguay.
3 countries, though separated by majestic mountains and massive rivers, by politics, sports, and culture, still united in their need of salvation through Jesus Christ. Unbridled opportunity awaits those who are led of God to join our forward march in establishing reproducing churches in South America.
It's not easy. It'll never be easy. It never was easy. But it's glorious. Yes, there's difficulties, but